This is an introduction to the Easy Licenser License Manager from Agilis software. We're going to see how you issue keys for your customers, so we're assuming that you've integrated either the Easy Licenser Java or C++ client library into your application as appropriate. We're going to look at the desktop console, which is one way of issuing and managing the keys that you issue. You can also issue keys automatically out of your back office system by calling the Easy Licenser Java Key Generation API, or you can use Agilis's Acropolis Entitlements hosted key generation and management system. But we're going to use the desktop console, and we're going to assume that we're issuing a key to a new customer for a 1-year subscription license for our product. So as they're a new customer, we'll start by adding them to the system. And let's say this customer's name is Freedom Software. We can also enter in their details, their city, their contact information, and so forth. So we'll create that record. So now we'll select that company, and we'll also select the product for which we wish to issue a key, which is, let's say, the Supersoft product. So it's a desktop license, that all looks good. And here in the username is where, if we wish, we can enter in the operating system login name and machine name for this license to be locked to. And you can also lock to any hardware parameters or combination of parameters of the customer system that you wish, using the Easy Licenser extensibility mechanism. But let's assume that the login name is Fred and the machine name is Fred's PC. And we're going to enforce operating system check to have that come about. So we said that we want this to be a 1-year license, so we want it to expire after 365 days. We're not going to set a usage limit, but there are some product parameters that we can set, and there are 3 different parameters for this Supersoft product. The first is the edition, so we can configure that, and let's say in this case we want it to be the Pro edition. We can also set a capacity parameter, whatever that might mean in this context. So let's make that, let's make that 4. And then a version could be the 3.0 level, or let's make this the 2.7 level. So that all looks good. And we're set up for a 365-day license for this customer locked to that machine. So we're now going to generate the key, and it's set to auto-publish the key, so we'll hit generate. And now let's make this the key, and let's make it in the XML format. So that'll mean that it'll have the encrypted part of the key that will be read by the Easy Licenser client, but as it's in XML format, there'll also be a human readable section of the key file, so that someone can look at that and see what the contents of the key might be. So we've published that key, and we can now take that key out of the export directory, email that to the customer for them to install on their machine and enable your product. Now, let's say it's a year later and we want to renew their license, that this customer, Fred, they've renewed their 1-year subscription, and you want to issue a similar key but for a further year. So what we can do is search for that particular license, and the customer name began with Freedom, so we'll find that, and there's that key we generated. So let's look at the details for that key. So you can see here when it was generated, we can see the product, we can see the time period, and so forth. And what we can do, and a useful feature in Easy Licenser, is what's called cloning the key. That's where we're taking the existing key as now, and we're saying I want to make a very similar key, perhaps changing some parameters. So in this case, let's make the license expiration date to 2013. And now I can make a cloned key, and as you'll see, it's kept all the other parameters, such as how those product options are set to be the same. So we can now make that cloned key. Let's call that Fred2, and we'll now publish that key. So it makes it easy to update subscription licenses, to convert trial licenses into production licenses, and so forth. As you can see, the feature I used there in Easy Licenser is the ability to look at all the keys that have been generated and to see what their contents are, just by looking up here in the license tab, and I can in fact see all the keys have been generated in this system. Pick them out, I can export the details, delete them, and so forth. So that concludes this quick demonstration of the Easy Licenser user interface. There are other videos that we have available, so do please check the Agilis website at agilis-sw.com.